Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Seraph in the Desert. So, we have in this passage by Numbers a very well known passage, right? Uh, the Israelites are out in the desert. They're trying to get to this promised land, and they have to go by route of part of the country that is particularly challenging, particularly arid, particularly uncomfortable. And to paraphrase what was put into the email, to paraphrase that, they are uncomfortable and complaining and upset. And as they are uncomfortable and complaining, the story goes, right, that God sends Seraph serpents to bite them and kill them. And then they realize that they're complaining and they repent. And by the same image, a seraph serpent raised on a stick, they are healed. So, first of all, the word seraph, the root of it, comes from the meaning, the connotation. It wouldn't have really existed back in the Hebrew days as we have it, as we have that word. It means burning. And interestingly, I'm sure maybe you have even thought of this, there is a direct parallel to the use of the word for seraphim. And seraphim, if in the 9 angelic orders, is the highest level of angel that never turns its gaze from God. The seraphim has 2 or 3 wings, and it's a burning light-filled presence, and it always gazes upon God. And then in that way, everything else that God is about, all created parts, benefit by that very gaze upon God. So we have these amazing parallels with that. But what I'd like to turn back to is the symbolic meaning that's here in this passage about keeping our eyes on what we long for. So rather than make this about an argument between God and an individual, or uh, a race and Moses, or it wasn't a for and against. All it really was that this people that were called the chosen people, which I think is symbolic of every human being, so that's you and me, awakened into a divine call. And in that awakening to that divine call, we are propelled, just like Jesus was, just like every mystic is, out into the desert. And when we're on that sojourn, which some might even see as the whole earthly sojourn, because this can be such a challenging place and dimension to be in, it can be easy to lose sight of the one thing necessary. Whether we complain or whether we just get stressed, whether we get taken up in another level or layer of looking at everything, we can move away from the one reason we're alive. We can even do it under really good motives that we need to tend earthly things. We need to tend relationship things. But this reminder is that we will always suffer when we do that. We will always get bit. We will always find discomfort when we move our gaze away from the one thing necessary. And then, in the end, the healing happens in this passage by the symbolic pain being set upon a stick and gazing upon it in a transformed way, in a transformed state. So, going very deep right into what takes us away from the singularity of focus can propel us into the seraphic vision of why we're here. It can dismantle the other layers that are present. And then with that gaze, just like a seraphim, with that gaze on the object of our desire, everything else in our life will fall into place. So this morning's meditation is based upon a little bit having to do with snake. And I know some of you are familiar since I've done this kind of toning with you, but we're going to do it together, and we're going to do it for ourselves, and we're going to do it for all of humanity. So other uses of snake have to do with the vertical energy column of our own selves, and that the awakening of all our energy centers is a bit like unleashing a snake coiled at our root and letting it integrate and expand through our whole being. So our toning will be of the tantric seed syllables, and it will go through the 7 chakras: root, second sacral, solar plexus third, heart, throat, third eye, crown. And the syllables, as many of you know, are Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Sham, Om. Let's say that together. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Sham, Sham, Om. And you'll sink into it, so don't worry about remembering it. We'll tone each 5 times and end with Om just once. And then we'll circulate. And I invite you to bring your awareness to your energy up your column as we tone each syllable. And this is meant to be grounded, integrated, and expansive. This is not meant to have you leave your physical awareness. It's meant to bring consciousness more integrated and fully into the physical presence. So I invite you to close your eyes. And bring the attention to the base of your spine, to the root chakra. And we begin our first round, inviting in a breath. Lam, 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 lam. Vam, 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 vam. Ram, 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 ram. Yum, 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 yum. Hum, 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 hum. Shum, 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 shum. Om. Lam, 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 lam. Vam, 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 vam. Ram, 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 ram. Yum, 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 yum. Hum, 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 hum. Shum, 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 shum. Om. Lam, 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 lam. Vam, 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 vam. Ram, 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 ram. Yum, 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 yum. Hum, 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 hum. Shum, 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 shum. Om. Lam, 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 lam. Vam, 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 vam. Ram, 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 ram. Yum, 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 yum. Hum, 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 hum. Shum, 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 shum. Om. Lam, 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 lam. Vam, 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 vam. Ram, 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 ram. Yum, 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 yum. Hum, 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 hum. Shum, 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 shum. Om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, ham 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 ham, sham 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 sham, om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, ham 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 ham, sham 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 sham, om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, ham 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 ham, sham 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 sham, om. Lam 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 lam, ram 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 ram, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, ham 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 ham, sham 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 sham, om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, ham 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 ham, sham 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 sham, om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, ham 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 ham, sham 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 sham, om. We take a few minutes of silence to let the sounding integrate into every part of our being. And we begin another round, inviting in a breath. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, hum 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 hum, sham 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 sham, om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, hum 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 hum, sham 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 sham, om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, hum 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 hum, sham 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 sham, om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, hum 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 hum, sham 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 sham, om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, hum 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 hum, sham 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 sham, om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yam 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 yam, hum 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 hum, sham 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 sham, om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yum 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 yum, hum 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 hum, shum 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 shum, om. Lam 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 lam, vam 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 vam, ram 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 ram, yum 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 yum, hum 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 hum, shum 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 shum, om. I invite you today to remember that you are called. An aspect of you is called not just to gaze upon the one thing necessary, but to be the burning seraphim that embodies that union. When you're ready, bring your palms together in front of your heart and open your eyes with namaste. Namaste, my friends.